Hello, my loyal companions. Welcome back to RogueCast episode 9, your dedicated Rogue Company podcast hosted by me, Radthar, and as always, joined by my lovely friend, Mr. OctaneProTV. How are you this week, sir?
I am great. Welcome back, everybody. Well, happy to be here. We did miss a week, but
We
we are
did.
back in action.
We did. I'll just explain quickly why we missed that week. It just came down to some audio issues on this end. I changed PC. OBS decided not to record the audio. Maybe my fault a little bit. So we decided instead of just completely restructuring it and making it seem particularly fake or that we'd just done it before, that we just missed the week for you guys. And we'll touch on a few of those little topics again today, as well as some new stuff that has come up around us. So it should be nice and interesting. But I think we'll start with just the general recap. How's your week with Rogue Company been? How you been enjoying it? Any sort of rank climbs, anything like that? How's it gone?
Yeah, no, so it's been good. As I've talked about in the past, we're kind of in this limbo period.
Yeah.
I am finding that we're burning through the content faster than the time period. So now and granted, you play significantly more
Oh,
than
yeah.
I do,
Yeah.
and even in my situation, it's like, okay, I'm kind of in that kind of limbo board period now,
Mhm.
where it's like, okay, what's next? Now, granted, someone like yourself who's burns through content because you spend 8 to 12 hours a day on it,
Yeah.
you're bored in 2 weeks, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready.
Uh-huh.
But you are not the norm.
No.
But for me, it's been enjoyable. It's been good.
Okay.
I'm ready to see what's next. We Fight Club's always been fun. We
Yeah.
did one last week, 2v2. That's been a blast doing Wingman. Radthar and Jolly played phenomenal.
Boom. Did
Did
it.
get knocked out
We
eventually,
did.
which was awesome. But other than that, that was good. And ranked was good.
Okay.
We played some ranked, played with you as well,
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Always good, sweaty games, which has been great. So we're hopefully going to be able to play you and I together. I'm platinum, you're rogue.
Yeah.
I just don't play enough, but we'll continue to play together as long as we can.
Yes, as long as we can. And I think I think I mentioned it last episode that got scrapped. But when I was talking to Scott back all the way back on the PTS server a couple weeks ago, he did sort of allude to the fact they may just be removing that feature where you can't play with your friends, which I think is interesting. I think especially while two things are broken. One, the fact that you can just do it
Yeah.
anyway. Well, that's broken.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
the fact that the matchmaking isn't consistent. You get matched with
Yeah.
anybody and anybody. So the fact you can't play with your friends doesn't really matter. I think that's probably a good change. I think I mean, it's a good change in the sense that it kind of makes sense. I would rather they just fix the matchmaking and the issue. But
Yeah, so let's jump into that a little bit, then we'll
yeah,
see
let's go, yeah.
how things have been going on for you. So I'm glad we're going down this avenue. We
Mhm.
didn't talk about this in the episode that did get scrapped,
Okay,
but
good.
what are your thoughts on the fact of removing the requirement of having to play with someone within, I think it was 5 or 6 tiers of your current rank? Do you think that is a wise decision? I know now people do it anyway because
Yeah.
there's an exploit to do it, but what are your thoughts on the fact of them just, we can't get it? It feels like we can't
Yeah.
get it working, so we're just going to go ahead and remove it. Do you think that's good and healthy for
Mhm.
the competitive rank scene?
So I think the my general answer is no. I think that should be in place. I like that it's in
Mhm.
place. As much as I'd love to play with my friends who are of lower ranks
Yeah.
or who don't get to play enough to climb the rank system, I would love to play with them. But in terms of competitive integrity, I think it's better to have that matchmaking where everybody is within the same area. We don't get any sort of boosting from high rank players helping lower rank players when they
Yeah.
should be
Yep.
there or whatever it be. But the matchmaking isn't good enough right now. That's the issue.
Mhm.
Ignoring the bug that just lets you do it anyway, the matchmaking isn't good enough to even warrant that kind of system because I can get placed with bronzes. I can get placed with level 30s
Yeah.
doing their placements. It happens all the time. And as a rogue player, and as now on my Smurf account, I am in Diamond 4.
Wow,
Yeah,
awesome, dude. That's
yeah.
phenomenal.
I get placed with anybody anyway, so why shouldn't I get to play with my friend? And I kind of like it from that point of view. But I think when they sort out the matchmaking, then for competitive integrity it should be in place. I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you kind of agree?
Well, it's really a shame that rank season 1, which we're calling this,
Yeah.
and season 0 was before, that season 1 has turned out to be a flop.
Yep.
That has turned out that this is not what we expected. It was not what was advertised. I think there's a few solutions here. So for anybody at First Watch that's watching, a few options, at least from the community, that you
Mhm.
probably already have thought about, but
Yep.
will be vocal to it, is if you're going to remove the feature of not requiring people to be within close rank to party together, there's a communal aspect to that of value, which is great,
Mhm.
awesome, cool, a lot of fun. But now you need to beef up your matchmaking system now and actually spend the time to go, okay, so Radthar is Rogue and Octane is Platinum. So we need to take their MMR. We actually need to add
Mhm.
MMR to Radthar and to Octane and take the average. And now when they go into the matchmaking, it's based off their average. Like they need to, if they're gonna go this route, which I'm almost leaning towards,
Yeah.
allow that flexibility,
Okay.
take the average MMR, show us that MMR, guys. Like
Yeah.
Overwatch does it. You can do it. Show us what it is. If Radthar is 3,000 and I'm 2,000 for all intents and purposes, show us those numbers in a ranked profile stats
Yeah.
tab and then allow us to go in together and base that entire system because my guess is, and if it isn't there, I don't know what they're doing, but my guess is there is a hidden matchmaking
Mhm.
rating for each you and I that exists. Why not show it to us and use that as the indicator, which you probably already are,
Yeah.
and not make it like, okay, I'm platinum and you're rogue, but we're making I'm platinum at a 2000 MMR.
Yeah.
So use that as a variable. And I feel like that makes this like that addresses this conversation. I
Mhm.
think the other thing is I feel like we're trying to reinvent the wheel here. Like,
Yeah.
ranked is nothing new in the video game space.
No.
Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? We are now 0 for 2, 2 seasons of failure. So that's kind of my perspective on it. What are your thoughts on just kind of
I mean,
what I spitballed there?
yeah, no, I agree. Matchmaking's one of the biggest problem of I don't mind going into ranked against rogue players. I mean,
Yeah,
I do have an issue with them going against them as a 4 stack, and I'm solo. That's a whole nother
correct.
set of rank system that needs to be addressed. But I think
Yep.
the biggest issue, and kind of addresses that as well, is the player base. Is the player base just not big enough to
Yeah.
allow different ranked lobbies to be happening at the same time, to allow solo queues and 4 stacks to be separate? I just don't think that's in place. I don't think they have the capability or the player base to allow that to happen. I
Mm.
think it is probably their goal. I'd be, if it wasn't their goal, I'd be so shockingly surprised because you're right. We're not reinventing the wheel. Every form of rank system has probably been done out there and been done to some form of success or complete failure. And
Yeah.
therefore, you know what you got to do to find the rank system that works for your game, whatever you choose to pick. So I kind of think, yeah, we're just on a play based issue. There's not enough people playing. And I come across this. I generally, if I'm playing against a 4 stack on a solo queue game, I'm just playing for a night or whatever, if I come against a 4 stack, I'll just switch servers over to EU or to NA, like respectively,
Mm.
just to avoid the 4 stack. Because I know I'm going to queue up against them at the same time every single time. And that's why
Yeah, yeah.
queue snipe, and actually, this is probably, if we sort of transition to my week, I've had a
Sure.
really big issue with queue sniping.
Ooh,
Just
okay.
all the time. And like, I normally don't mind it. Like, if some viewers want to get into my lobbies while I'm playing, go for it. It's kind of fun, I guess. But I'm getting to the issue where I play Strikeout very much for the enjoyment factor. I like, to kill
Yep.
people and run around and shoot things. And I always do that. But I don't want somebody or a group of people, as it tends to be, full tryharding against me in Strikeout
Mm.
on stream because it's not fun. It kills the vibes of the stream. It kills
Yeah,
my
yeah.
vibe. And it's like, it's not a pleasurable experience, especially when I'm just got viewers in here of varying skill levels, as you know, right?
Yeah.
You don't want someone to fully come and sweat on you within a game. And the issue with Q sniping there is it's so easy to Q snipe because there's not that many people playing. You pick the server and you click start, and as long as they're not a console player, because console can't Q snipe because you can't get in. As a console player, you can't get into a PC lobby unless you have a PC player with you in that
Mm.
lobby. So as long as they're
What do
PC
you
player,
think about that? Do you think that needs to be adjusted to kind of increase that player pool?
I didn't think about it till that moment. Yeah, absolutely. The biggest player base is on
Console.
consoles. So yeah, we're getting absolutely like
The PC
mess.
side is getting garbage when it comes to matchmaking because
Yeah,
our pool is so small.
yeah,
Why not literally make it true crossplay? Like
yeah.
this is like a fake hybrid crossplay right
Mm.
now. It's like no, crossplay is crossplay, guys. It means whoever's queuing at that time, grab them. Now I'm thinking we can kind of
Yeah,
clean
that
up this matchmaking a little bit.
that would absolutely fix it. If they have like the ability for matchmaking in place that would kind of balance things out more, and all the differences is that you put console players in there with us,
Yeah.
that's not bad at all. If that fixes the integrity of rank, I'd be happy. I guess the only issue, the counterpart, is how much of a disadvantage are consoles at. Personally, I'd say if you're talking new gen consoles, not at all.
Yeah.
They can now, because actually a recent hotfix did bump up the PlayStation to 120 FPS. so PS5s can now run the game at 120 FPS. You compare that to PC, well, I'm getting 150, maybe 200 if I uncap it, maybe 240 if I uncap it. But 120 FPS is pretty commonplace against the 150 FPS that we're seeing from most PC players. Plus, if anything, you actually get increased aim assist on console. There is a they made the change a while back to reduce the aim assist of PC, but not console, so it is stronger. So if anything, you have more of an advantage. I guess the biggest issue would be Switch, right? Of like, and we talked about it before.
We all know about that. I mean, we run into that even like when like once a week I do custom games on my channel. Just get together, group people from anybody in chat, and we throw them in and play together, and we try to even the teams. But as you and I know, you and I both do it. We go, oh, we have 2 Switch players. All right. And usually it's my team versus Radthar's team. Like we split it up, and okay, great. Radthar, you get a Switch player. I get a Switch player. And it's just because you can literally look at that player and they cannot adult rotate smoothly and fast enough that a controller or a PC player does. Like that's the biggest thing. Like that's really the biggest thing. And that creates that challenge. But yeah, I'm in the boat right now where it's like, it seems like, granted, I'm a step away from what the developers are seeing. But it seems like from our perspective, a lot of these issues can be addressed, at least from the information that you and I have, from correcting them with, all right, true crossplay, put it in place, increase your player pool, better matchmaking in ranked. Like that would be phenomenal. I'd love to see that. And the other thing about we talked about with rank is remove the whole, you get to X amount of time and then you get anybody.
Yeah.
I think that's literally poisoning your rank system.
Yeah.
Like if I gotta wait 10 minutes, I'll wait 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's not put, bronze versus rogue ever. Like that should never, ever, ever happen. Like if you're a rank away distance, okay, that's fine. But it's like that you can't be doing that. It's like traditional games make you wait extended time to play ranked. That's So it's just kind of my thoughts there.
I 100% agree. I think the amount of times that I have been on my main account, which is now level 450. I'm in rogue rank.
What's the cap?
500.
Do you know the cap?
500.
Okay.
And my rogue rank is rogue level 750 RP or something. Okay. So I'm like well into it. And I get placed with literally levels 30s, and 34 was a game I had the other day. They were my teammate. And my enemies were level 150 up to 350, somewhere in that range. Probably 4 stack. And it's like, how does this happen? Like, how do people who physically have not played enough through level 30, they haven't played 10 games because they're level 30, they haven't got to 31, they're still level 30s, they are still in placement. How are they in my game in that moment? And that's very frustrating because
100%.
I don't think anyone's going to deny a level 30 player is not as good as a higher level player. Not saying that that's the full for every single individual case, but it's a blanket statement. And I would say with 95% majority, honestly, a level 30 player is not going to be able to compete at a higher level because they're so new to the game. There's so much game knowledge and game sense you have there. Unless they're on a Smurf account, obviously, like mine one was, I'm sure people were looking at my account when I was level 30 in ranked and smashing through lobbies, thinking like, well, this level 30 is really good. Like, how's he that good?
You're the exception.
Exactly, because I'm on a Smurf account, right? Which in theory is not like a great thing, but I don't feel any like sourness about Smurf accounts in this game because it doesn't matter. I could easily, if I queued up in ranked on my main account.
Yeah, you're getting anybody. You're not getting other level 30s.
Exactly. If I queued up on ranked on my main account at 6 o'clock on Friday, and then I queued up on my alt account at 6 o'clock on Friday, a different week, I would get the exact same lobby. If those same people are on, it doesn't matter which account I log in with, I will get the exact same lobby no matter what. And that is like the issue from there. So that's what I've come across with. I think actually you're dead right on there. If we allow console players to play with PC players, maybe you have a whole separate Switch area. Like, I actually wouldn't be that opposed to that, honestly. I think Switch is at such a massive disadvantage, not just because it just isn't. It isn't comparable. It just really isn't. Console at least has a chance, There's that little bit of extra. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that would be a lot fairer, a lot better for the matchmaking, a lot more healthy for the game. So that's a good point. I like that.
So outside of that, what else has gone on in your week, especially yesterday?
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, so solo queues Rogue. I got up to. I was stuck plat for so long. Plat 1, I couldn't get out of it. Then managed to get out of it. Got through Diamond 5. Literally just breezed through that. Almost win every single time. Then got to plat 4. Now setting up plat 4 like 50 up. So solo queue to Rogue's doing really, really good. I was very happy with the games. Towards the end of the stream, they just kind of went a bit wide. I just was like not really focused. I was having such a great time anyway with stream. It was like I just kind of wasn't focusing, so we lost a few. But hey, we finished perfectly fine by my standards. But yesterday, yes, as you mentioned, I was casting with the Antimatter tournament. So Antimatter put on a $1,000 tournament. We hoped more teams would sign up. There was still a good amount of teams. About 19 teams signed up of different caliber. A few really, really cracked teams in there who normally do CMGs. But CMG put on an event, put on their 10K again. So they just finished one last week. And we were like, cool.
They did another one. Jeez.
Yeah, and we were like, cool. We probably have like some time before CMG decide to do anything else. They're gonna look at the stats. They're gonna reevaluate, and then they're gonna decide if they want to do another 10K. Nope. Next week, qualifiers back on. And so it was kind of a pain. I would have loved to have got some of the highest teams in there. But we did have a few of them. A few of them were like, well, you know what? Winning the $1,000 from the CMG is kind of hard against some of the top teams. So we had some of those like good teams who would place and qualify, but maybe not hit the top mark and would get the prize pool. Decide to come to the Antimatter tournament instead, where they were able to achieve that. So it was nice. Got to cast against some really good teams, but the event went on very, very long. It went on for almost 12 hours.
Was it double limb?
It was double limb, yeah. The way we structured it, the way we structured it was because they asked a lot of my advice about how they want to structure it. Because they're coming from the Halo scene, and they're sort of trying to work their way into here. So I gave them a lot of advice on how I thought it should be run. I said best of 3 for the winners bracket throughout the whole thing, and then we get to finals, the grand finals. You do best of 5, just to make it a little bit more intense. They then decided to go for the best of 5 for the semi-finals as well, which is it adds a bit of time again, but honestly, it's not the end of the world. And then the losers bracket was a best of 1. That one I was kind of firm on. Was that needs to be a best of 1? Like that's the best of 3. We're not catching up. That turns into a 15-hour event.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of lateness towards the production start, just to do some production issues. And then the real kicker was that the team that we had in the grand finals, the team that came up from losers bracket to meet the winners bracket, they had played them in the winners final, but then got knocked down. Then they worked their way back up. And so it was the possibility of a double best of 5. If the losers team won the first best of 5, then they would get a best of 5 reset. And that is exactly what happened. It went 4 games in the first best of 5. Then we had 3 games in the second. So that was
how you can address that is from a being tournament organizer in the past. When we did do Rogue Rivals, was if the winning team originally throughout the winning bracket beat the other team, they had a 1 game advantage going into the finals, and it's locked in regardless. So it's just 1 best of 5. The winning team would automatically be up 1-0.
That honestly might be something.
And that literally just addresses it. Because they've already beaten them. So you know what I mean? Then that's where the 1 point. So I get that from like MLG and stuff like that, when I was involved with that, and StarCraft 2, and that's how they did a lot of those situations where, because the same thing, it was like, holy cow, like we can't go that long, especially now, man, with like the demolition length and everything like that. It's like you can't be doing that, but hopefully lesson learned. Lesson learned.
And it wasn't even just that; it was the fact that they were really close teams, like, and so most rounds went 6-7. Or 6-8, sorry, or 7-8, and they were just so close.
It's painful.
There was a running joke between me and Haloran, who I was casting with, throughout the entire thing, which was every match these guys played, and they played 3 best of 5s in the end. The 2 from the grand finals and 1 from the winners final. And so that was 3, 7, 10 maps. They played 10 maps against each other, and in 9 of those maps, the same team was ahead at halftime 4-3.
Wow.
Like it was, so that's how close it was. It would be 4-3 practically every single game with the same team on top. So it was a big joke between me and Hal as we went through. Just like, I wonder how this is going to turn up. Oh, it's 4-3 at the half. Okay, cool. So it was like the first half.
That's a rough day. That's a rough day. Myself and Radthar were supposed to actually record this yesterday, Friday. And I'm like, where is he? I'm like, I'm here. I'm on time. We're good to go. Actually, we were supposed to do it Friday. Then we bumped it to Saturday. And then Saturday, I'm like, where is he? And then I'm like, it says he's playing Rogue Company. Like, what? This son of a bee. so I load up his channel and see he's commentating. I was like, okay, no problem. Like, totally understand. Not gonna worry about it. But I was up for several hours longer because I was doing some content stuff, and I'm like, dang, he's still going. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah,
So
the
yeah,
entire
that's rough.
thing, from like when I was like on and ready and like in production mode, I guess, and pre-production mode,
Yeah.
I was like 13 hours, but the event itself ended
Oh
up
my
being about
gosh.
11 and a half hours. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it so much. I obviously, I love casting. Casting with Hal was a great
Yep.
time. So it was
Yep.
worth it. And it's got some good games in there, which it helps when they're good games. It really does help. The atmosphere.
I'm so glad that I wasn't able to do that
Yes.
because like I would have been like, dude, I gotta go. Like
Yeah.
I gotta go. Like I got a
Mm.
family, stuff like that.
Got content to do and
Um
everything. Yeah, that's that.
Radthar and I have always wanted to commentate together.
Yeah.
We've actually never done it before. There's been a few events we've talked about it. The one we were supposed to do, what happened with that one?
You were ill, I think.
Oh no, I was up overnight for work. I literally worked through
Yes.
all day and through the night before. And that next morning, I finally went to bed at
Mhm.
7:30. So I had been up for over 24 hours. And I messaged you and Die Hard
Mhm.
and was like, dude, I can't cast today.
You
I'm
can,
sorry.
yeah.
Like I am not in my prime. And then there was that. And then this event yesterday, it was my daughter's third birthday. So I was
Have a
like,
good time.
I can't miss
Was it
that
good?
work. It was great. We had a
Nice.
gymnastics gym because she's into gymnastics.
Nice.
So we had like 17 other kids, and it was a blast. Let them run
Nice.
around. But yeah, that wouldn't have worked. I would have been like
Yeah.
6 hours in and been like, all right, it's family time, dude. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like
Gotta go.
12,
Yeah.
12 hours. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a mental one, but it was a lot of fun nonetheless.
Good.
So sort of onto the main topic of the top podcast. Then I can speak. Then you can tell I've been up for a very long,
Very long time.
very long time. I want to talk slightly a little bit about the upcoming event, which I predict is going to be coming this Wednesday in terms of the new sort of mini patch that's coming out. It's bringing us a few little
Yeah.
balancing changes that we saw on the PTS server, as well as the season event, the Arms Dealer, which is their spring Easter event. Slightly poorly timed, given that Easter is, at the time of recording this, today.
Yes.
But for me, actually, about 3.5 hours ago it ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so I think we'll just talk about that a little bit. And the Arms Dealer event, obviously, we did touch on it on the scrapped version, but I think it is worth talking about again because I think people will be really
Absolutely.
interested in hearing our opinions on it and exactly how it is. So I'll break it down a little bit so everyone's aware of exactly how it works. Essentially, it is a mission-based event whereby there are these missions that you can complete in-game to unlock in this special new event currency. That currency can then be used to unlock 4 shipments, which are these cosmetic reward packages, essentially. And there are 4 free-to-play shipments that you can only get, or you can actually buy them with Robux, but they are designed to be used with the in-game credits that you can use. And then there are 4 more shipments of cosmetics that are exclusively paid through by Robux. And the total of that comes to about $40 worth of Robux.
Oh my god.
It was originally 50, and as I will point out, it was originally 50, and within a couple hours being on the PTS and everyone being like, huh? They did drop it down to 40, so a bit more of a reasonable price. But you have to, the main sort of reward for the event is this special reserve prize, which has this really cool Saint skin and really cool weapon skin. But you can only get that if you do all 8 shipments. And that is the 4 free ones and the 4 paid for ones. Which means you're not actually getting that main reward unless you pay for the content. So I think we'll put forward to you and sort of what do you think about that on the surface of things, and sort of how you feel it is.
Yeah, so it's kind of unique. This is a almost I want and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is very much like an achievement system mixed with like a battle pass. It's like
Yeah.
you this objective,
Mhm.
you get this.
Yeah.
You complete this, you get this, so on and so forth. So this kind of really threw me for a spin. I was not expecting something like this coming out of them. There was back when the battle pass was announced, and there was a lot of upset individuals because you couldn't earn enough Rogue for the next battle pass, and they made the announcement of there's something coming in order to earn additional Rogue. So that by the next battle pass, you're good to go for those of you guys that are short on cash, can't afford it,
Yeah.
and type of deal. Well, this is definitely not it.
No.
This is definitely more expensive than the battle pass.
Yeah.
And the battle pass, you get 50 total items.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. We have a system that is like an objective-based achievement system that gives you skins, and it's going to cost you $40 US,
Yeah.
give or take. So twice the amount, right? That's about twice the amount of a battle pass.
It's about 4 times the amount, I think.
4 times the amount of a battle pass for significantly less amount of skins.
Yes,
Okay.
it is definitely less value. The value of the battle pass, I don't know what that is. I didn't add up all the cosmetics, but the value of the event is about $100 worth of content and cosmetics and stuff. There's a few like legendary, really good skins in there. So it's about $100 of like content, I guess, is what's in there for the $40 that you pay for.
Yeah, so there I'm confused. Like,
Mhm.
what are we doing, guys? What's the deal here? I think the other thing that kind of frustrates me at least, is there's a lot of rogue buck necessity here.
Yeah.
You know, rogue bucks to do this and that. But where are we using our reputation, guys?
Mhm.
Like, what happened with that? There was a lot of when you guys made your swap. I'm talking to the Rogue Company developers here. Hopefully, at least one listens. You had really pushed the fact of we will find ways for you to use your reputation.
Mhm.
You found one way. You put one skin in your shop for reputation, and I'm sorry, but they're garbage.
Yeah,
Like
they're not good.
these are like give us okay. Give us skins for our weapons, okay, or that are reskins, or give us reskins for our rogues. Like, hey, it's a trench skin, and instead of the green coat, it's a blue coat or a red coat. Like,
Yeah.
let us use this reputation for reskins, even weapons there. So when we came across this upcoming shipment system, I'm like, wait, this is a perfect opportunity to like have half of it or a quarter of it require reputation.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to the whole battle pass feel. And then you can move on to get to these other levels of it to use rogue bucks. So I feel as a community member, I play a lot with community members.
Yeah.
I feel I'm a member of that group. I very much don't put myself on a pedestal in any way just because I stream and create content. And I feel like I can speak for a lot of the community when it's like, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah.
I love what you're trying to do, but the execution is poor. So that's my thoughts. What's your feedback on that?
Yeah, my general philosophy is, as someone who's played a lot of other games as well and been part of their event and their cosmetic systems, I don't actually mind it. I think in terms of the value for money, it's not that bad. I would actually rather it be around $30. That would be slightly more in line with what I think. But in terms of other games, the way they do their cosmetics and the bundles, because it's essentially what you're getting, is you're essentially getting this this combat medic bundle, which is with some of the free stuff and some of the skins and stuff. It's all this combat medic theme for Saint. There's a bundle's worth of content in there. There's something that you would maybe pay like the 100 Thieves bundle for. It's that kind of level of like cosmetic for everything, for every single weapon, for the character, an avatar, banner, and all of that. Then you have kind of another sort of bundle in there as well with some of the skins. So there's like two bundles, I'd say, are sort of in this. If you want to piece it together, and a bundle in something like Call of Duty would be about $25. So making it $50 for two makes sense. Apex, you want to buy Apex Heirloom, you're talking like $100. Like, we're really getting up there. Like, but
people are insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I spent an ungodly amount of money on a mobile game once, and buying gems. I'm pretty sure it was. So we won't even
Candy Crush,
not Candy Crush, not Candy Crush. It was actually Lords Mobile was the game that I did. It was like
not familiar.
No, you don't want to be, trust me. But like, so in my mind, I think, you know what, cosmetics don't add anything, or they do add stuff to the game. They don't change the game. Therefore, if you want to charge for them, you want to charge maybe you know some higher prices. That's fine, as long as you do some free stuff. That'd be really cool. Or do what you said, and actually I love what you said of the recolors. Every single recolor that's in the game should not be paid for. Like, honestly, it's not 100%. Worth it. Like a retexture, maybe. Like there's two Phantom skins that are legendary. There's the Pop Idol Phantom, which is where she's got like her like pop outfit.
Yep.
I don't know even what to call it, anime girl sort of thing going on. It's a whole vibe. And then they've got a retexture, I'd say, more than a recolor of the Snowy, the Winter Phantom, the North Star Phantom, which is it does look different. It's the exact same model in terms of it's this coat and stuff, and you can tell it's sort of recolory, but it does have a little bit more depth than that, and an entire new set of voice lines, so it's okay by me. But every sort of recolor, like we have the standard Lancer, then you have like this orange colored Lancer, then you have this blue colored Lancer now. That should all be things you can use reputation for. And Apex do 100%. This the best. Apex are so good at this. you can buy. They have different tiers of skins that you can buy with in-game
Okay.
currency, currency that you earn
Awesome.
from playing the game. And it's like you have your basic skins, which you have every color under the sun, and they're like a couple games worth of money essentially. Then you have another tier, which is a cooler looking skin, and a whole set of different colors for that skin, for a little bit more, maybe like a week's worth of in-game time for the money, and you pick which one you want. And then they have it another tier, and then you start getting to the real big paid-for version skins, these bundle skins, these event skins, and things like that. So I don't have an issue with the event skins as such, other than the fact that I think it doesn't do justice to the fact that we don't have any real free-to-play content for cosmetics. And I think if they added in a system like that, like Apex, that would be much better. And it was definitely viable. I mean, I said you and I actually played on your random game night, new game night that you do every week. We played Apex there, and there was a lot of nostalgia for me watching Apex. And I actually said to you, the theme of this video, of this stream for you is going to be, oh, Rogue could have done that. Or, oh, why doesn't Rogue do this?
It absolutely was.
Yeah.
It absolutely was.
And the cosmetics, I don't think you probably didn't go and tab into them, but is absolutely part of that. Of the cosmetics are so important. And it gives someone a reason to grind, which is what a lot of people are missing, is a reason to grind as such.
Yes, 100%.
I'll grind all the time. I grind for content. I grind just to get my rank level as high as possible on 750. That doesn't matter if I'm on 750 or 20,000. There's no difference there, really, other than how much time I put into it. And so an actual grind for and reputation system would be really important. Also, and I mentioned this last week, but I'll just mention it again because I really enjoyed watching you react to this. Was the excess currency that you get from the event can be transferred then into more reputation. So anything,
I know.
Anything overspill is just more reputation for you.
Yeah, good job. Thanks for spending that money with us. Now we're gonna throw it to reputation. It's like, oh my gosh,
literally.
Yeah, that's that. I agree with you. I think that would be great. I think you nailed it on the head there when you talked about the fact of giving something to grind. Let's talk about player sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really hard one here for Rogue Company. Most players that are, I find Rogue Company is one of those games for the majority of the community where it's like, oh yeah, I play Rogue Company, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that's becoming more and more because it's like people just don't have that in there to grind.
Yeah.
Especially for newer players. It's like, imagine you come in as a new player and everything is paid wall. Everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, versus you come in and you're like, dude, in a day, I could get that really cool orange skin with grinding again. It's like, come on. Like, this is, once again, we are not reinventing the wheel when it comes down to microtransactions here, guys. And so this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. This is another one of those ones that makes me scratch my head, especially when it talks about player sustainability, which seems to be more and more of a challenge for Rogue Company.
I would completely agree. And kind of going into that is a topic you really want to speak about, which is the peak of Rogue Company. I know you have a lot of thoughts on this, so I'll let you sort of take the floor with it. Sort of put me through this topic and we'll discuss.
Yeah, so a good topic that is very opinion based, which is where I come from on most of my discussions, is what does Rogue Company need in order to re-peak, go, back up there with the Titans? And something that came to mind here, there were two separate things. For me, and I had two things. The first one was I would love to see them do what Tarkov did, which was allow drops to occur on Twitch. I feel like that did phenomenal for the marketing side of Tarkov. I think they could do that now. They have Rogue partners out there that are available. And that's what they did. If you guys were referring to closed beta, when it was a closed beta, you could go. One of my channels was one of them, and it was great. It was phenomenal. I enjoyed it as a partner. It benefited me. It benefited Rogue Company. I had the little thing under my channel name. It said, drops enabled. You'd come on my channel. You connect your Twitch and your Rogue Company account together, and a Radthar could jump on and he could watch my channel, and he would have a chance to unlock the code to get access to the game during closed beta. They could do that very much with these reskins you and I were talking about. 100%. They could do reskins. They could do weapon skins, whatever. I think that is a huge opportunity for them. They have a decent amount of skins in game. They could add to it, and I think they have a long way to go. So that's kind of my thought on my first item.
Mhm.
Any thoughts on that, or any thoughts that you had on additional ideas?
I mean, I love it. Honestly, drops enabled would be massive. I know how big that was for Tarkov. My dad is a Tarkov player. He really enjoys Tarkov, and he would so often, especially like a couple months ago, sort of like when Rogue was sort of dipping around Christmas. There was that kind of lull after it came out from open beta. Came into open beta, was free to play for everybody. Hit a really nice peak, and then it dwindled down. And Christmas in January hit a pretty high lull, or pretty low lull, I guess.
I agree.
And he would keep showing me just screenshots of Tarkov viewership compared to Rogue Company viewership, and the big difference being drops of the amount. Why would you not sit and watch a streamer for access to the game, access to a code, access to a new skin? You could don't even have to watch the streamer. You can just lurk the streamer for that time. To just start earning the chance to potentially earn a really cool skin within the game, or even just a little skin. It's free stuff. Everyone loves free stuff. And so drops such a great way to not only promote the game, promote your rogue partners who you go through and have a look at, and give us a reason to want to be rogue partners, because we know at the moment they're sort of reholding the system, but
the rogue partnership program is garbage right now. I'll be the first to say it. I'll
be second to back you up. It's issues. I actually did get my Bullet Fatties codes, by the way. I got them.
I just got more of some of the
sit down one. Yeah, so I got that. So when I got that, I got the other one as well. So I got like 10 codes right now.
6 weeks late. 6 weeks late, but
it happened. So that is very much like something to promote the partner program, and just bring more engagement. Twitch is such a great platform for not only a way for you to see how the game's doing. And it's not the only way. Like, you have just player base. What is your player base? That's obviously the biggest metric for you. But Twitch is still a really good metric to see how well your game is doing. And also, based on Twitch viewership, depends on how many other bigger established creators may want to switch to this game. Why would Tim the Tatman, for example, want to come to this game when, without him playing, when his 10,000-20,000 viewers, there's 1,500 viewers in on Twitch right now? Why would he want to come into this space and gain a very small portion? If there's, say, 10,000 people watching Rogue Company because drops are enabled, say there's a good chunk of the player base
versus
who just
1,000.
Exactly. Tim Tatman might decide to come in there, and I'm just using him as an example, but I'm thinking more on these like 500 to 2,000 level of viewerships. These big hitters who do really well, but could bring good value to the community and good playership to it as well. They may look at that 10,000, but that's the game that's actually doing okay. I may be able to take some of this market and bring some and share some of my own market into there, and that's definitely viable. And I would love to see that happen. I think drops are a great way of doing that. But I know you said there was a second thing you wanted to touch on as well.
Yeah. So a second thing that I've seen been very successful for other games, and I feel like that's what we really need to really push us past that barrier wall, is integrating some more cultural items into it. So example here, not to say this is what I exactly want, but example is Fortnite went ahead and partnered with Marvel. And holy cow, I'd love to see the metrics, because I know they're huge, as to Fortnite was here, and when they partner with Marvel, and now you can get the skins of your favorite superheroes, where it brought that player base because of that. They started to go that direction on cross-pollination with like 100 Thieves. They did huge marketing around it. They did that, and then that stopped. And then like the Dr. Disrespect thing came in, and then that stopped. And now it's like, now we're in this terrible marketing limbo where it's like, marketing guys, what are you guys doing? And so I really feel like we need to go the distance. We need to find a partner that will give us that Marvel injection. I'm not saying it's DC, whatever it is, because I think you when we were our rescrapped episode, you had a point where you brought up about the fact of you don't know how you would feel about bringing that into this game because of the skins and stuff like that, and how that plays out. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts there. What are your thoughts on kind of that partnership and that additional injection to bring a new player base or consistent player base back?
And I think you sort of that as, I don't mind it. I just think it's a good idea. I think it would work But my issue is that I don't want skins to become gimmicky. That's the one thing I don't want. Was I believe what I was saying was I don't want to see a Swamp Thing, a DC thing. I'm not great
Swamp
with DC.
Thing. Yep.
I don't want to see a Swamp Thing like Dima. That's not what I want to see.
Or like an anvil. Yeah,
exactly.
It takes away from the true character of it.
It's just it just looks like this cartoon characters running around. Now I don't mind something like a the Arrow Seeker. Because especially DC, they do something really well where they kind of have an element of realism to a lot of their stuff. Correct, it's the dark kind of stuff, and that kind of comes realistic. So I don't mind that kind of thing, like a Catwoman Phantom or something like that, or a Harley Quinn Ronin, or something like that along those routes is okay. As long as it doesn't look cartoony. That's kind of the thing. Is I want that realistic feel of like, oh, this is like still something I'm kind of afraid of, and not. And I think the example I use, let's say, what would be really gimmicky, like a Spider-Man running around. I don't want to see Spider-Man running around in my games.
Yeah, a lot of those you guys familiar with like the Suicide Squad. A lot of those are like have that feel of an actual person.
Yes,
that their character could translate over. There's a lot of great examples in there. But here's a good opportunity for those of you guys watching. Leave a comment on YouTube down below on what you would see. Like who could you pair up? What character here could be this character here? What could we do there? I always look at like Lancer could be a Black Widow, granted that's Marvel, totally understand it, but I'm just kind of putting this together where we are. What was her partner with the bow in Marvel? Oh
Hawkeye,
my gosh. Hawkeye.
Yeah.
That could be matched with Seeker. Like, let's just take, a little more realistic ones, but that's the thing. Now, granted, I know Marvel again, but I'm just saying, like, these are some opportunities that we do have available to us to do a lot of really cool stuff in the game. I feel like that's what we need, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Kind of hiding behind this, I'm going to put it, the current Seeker schoolboy skin. It looks like a Chinese knockoff of a Harry Potter skin, and it's like I have a joke on my stream. I call it the Perry Hatter skin because but this I don't like us hiding behind that. It's like if we're gonna do a Harry Potter skin, stop the cheap Chinese knockoff stuff and partner with Harry Potter. Bring in a Harry Potter crowd. I mean, Jesus, the bazillion amount of you get like 0.1% of those people. That's a ton of people. It's like we have so much opportunity here, and I feel like that's the way we need. That's the new norm. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think as I said, for me, as long as it doesn't go gimmicky, that's fine by me. Like, don't pair with like the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Could you Could you imagine Lego models running around Rogue Company?
Lego Anvil with his like wall.
I couldn't. That'd be so funny. I couldn't deal with it though. I couldn't. It would actually ruin the game for me if it went that gimmicky. But I don't mind like an element of it, right? A small element of like, hey, this is recognizable. Even like, obviously this is Marvel, an Iron Man that isn't Iron Man. If it's like Tony Stark, where he's kind of like he's got the chest piece in there and maybe some of the suit, but he hasn't gone full Iron Man. Like but if you're something in the Hulk in instead, like it's where it gets too far, and that's when you ruin the authenticity of the game for me. Where I enjoy that the game is very much realistic in the sense. Obviously, maybe not. You just sometimes people take a few too many bullets than you would in real life. But there's that element to it. So I think I like the idea, and I do think that the game needs that peak. And I think marketing is a great way of getting to that stage. Depending how they market it, that you could go down that route. You could do the injection to streamer route, which we have talked about before. Now the game kind of has a system and a element of it involved. A cash injection into Rogue Company again, into the streamer population, into the high streamers, may be worth it to bring more eyes to the game. Whatever you choose to do, there needs to be a marketing push at this point, I think, or at least in Season 2, to get the game really rolling.
No, I think it's a great idea. It's just, I feel like we got to do something.
Yeah.
Like something, we got to do something. And I'm hoping they have something big up their sleeve. But unfortunately, where you and I have talked about time and time again, the thought is awesome. Yeah. But the execution is where it's poorly done. And then we end up where we are now, where I'll be honest with you, I think right now is the lowest number of Rogue. From an outside perspective, I think we're at our lowest Rogue concurrent players population since I've started playing the game right now.
I would have to agree, honestly, just based off like the metrics I see from
The
YouTube and stuff.
the feel of it, yeah.
And the feel, honestly, in terms of the players that I see consistently all the time in game. Really shouldn't be seeing them all the time. There's big enough player base that I shouldn't. The YouTube numbers, which of course are still steadily growing, but I've seen the difference in the amount of growth, the amount of like daily increase is still going up, but it's not going up by the highest amount that it was before. And then same on Twitch, where we see numbers dipping in and out. I feel like we're really hitting towards the 1.5 more than we're hitting towards the 2K now. Whereas before, like I say, 2 weeks ago, we were hitting 2K pretty happily, sometimes even pushing 2.5K. So I do feel like we're at a low. Probably part of that is due to the fact that we are in this limbo period, as you feel. And for whatever reason, this limbo period feels really heavy. This feels like a really, really big lull for Rogue Company right now, which is a pain. So hopefully there is some form of injection to get back into there.
I mean, we're now, we're in second quarter, which means there'll be 2 more rogues in the next 3 months.
Yep.
On top of that, there'll be another battle pass. They had 4 battle passes, that they had mentioned there. So it's like, holy cow. I haven't seen any graphics on here's the roadmap we showed you guys, and here's our check boxes next to each thing we accomplished, and here's what's to come. It's just, I feel like a lot of that communication transparency has fallen off.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We started out the year and it was like, great, here's everything coming. The very good communication and details, and I feel like now it's like, where'd that group go? Like, they coming back? They're gonna tell us what's going on. So yes, I feel like that limbo and that lull is very heavy right now. I would agree with you.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. But other than that, I think that is all from me. Unless you have any other topics you want to touch on here on this episode.
No, I'm ready to go. As long as it's recorded, we're good to go.
Hopefully, if you're seeing this, we did good this time. But okay, guys, I hope you have the most fantastic day. Until next week, we will see you back